Good morning. Good morning. It's saying I'm live, so I'm just gonna believe that I am. How's everyone doing on this beautiful Saturday? I know everyone is preparing for the new year, but I want to come and give you December 31st devotional. And the title of this devotional is Today, if you hear his voice. A lot of people is planning to party. A lot of people is planning on family gatherings. A lot of people is planning on just celebrating. But is anyone planning to hear his voice? And what will your response be when you hear his voice? I'm going to get right into this because I don't have long. But this is for somebody. Because tonight, this evening, tomorrow morning, you may hear his voice. How will you respond? Will you respond? Will you harden your heart? Will you be too caught up in your celebration that you ignore his knock? This is for you. Then the master said to the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be full. He is concerned about us. He is saying, I know you're getting ready to party. I know you're getting ready to celebrate. But he's saying it's something more important than that. So while you are entertaining that, I'm tugging at your heart because I don't want you to be lost. And that is Luke 14:23. People who are on the highway are busy going places, really going nowhere. It is our job to tell them to stop and consider their eternal salvation, because nothing is more important than the issue of where they will spend eternity. I really just said that. So many people are going to be busy celebrating, and they're not taking into account that if God was to knock on their door, if God was to crack heaven, will you be ready? Or will you be out on the dance floor? Will you be in somebody's bed that you shouldn't be in? Where will you be when he knock on your door? After 1 second in hell, they will scream with agony, remorse. Oh, such thoughts should horrify us and motivate us to run to the rescue. Hedges are places where people hide from God, like Adam after he sinned. We must take the time to expose their sins with the rod of God's law and tell them that nothing is hidden in the eyes of him and whom they have to give an account. You can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. Adam thought because he was hiding behind his fig leaves that God didn't know the evidence that he had disobeyed. But you're going to always leave some residue of sin. We must compel them to come in. Love will not be passive about the terrifying and sobering issue of their eternal salvation. We must plead, exhort, and encourage them with a sense of overwhelming urgency to get right with God by repenting and trusting in Jesus. This is an urgency. I know everybody is getting ready to, have a good time. But wake up. Wake up, people. So many people didn't make it. And yet and still people's going on as normal. We must do it today, for they may not have tomorrow. Neither may we. This thing is winding up. It's winding up. It's time to do some soul searching. Do I hear his voice saying, go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature? Have I been ignoring the mandate? Wow. Wow, Lord, help us. And this is the prayer for today. Father, I need your help to do this. I will trust you as I go. So you're making a promise that you're going to go. No, you're not going to win everybody. But God said everyone will know the truth before they leave this world. So no one will have an excuse to say that they didn't know about Jesus, that they didn't know about God. You're going to know the truth. The Bible said every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess who he is. So that tells you right there, everybody going to know who he is. Not who he pretend to be, but who he is. And so we all got to make our calling and election sure. We all going to fall in the hand of a just God. What will be your verdict? Will your verdict be job well done, enter in? Or will your verdict be depart from me, you workers of iniquity? I never knew you. I'm telling you, some people think just because they have they know of him, they had an encounter with him once upon a time. They still remember the scriptures. They still remember the dress code. Some people think that that's enough to make it in, and it's not. Your verdict is going to be depart from me. Living for Christ is a lifestyle. You can't straddle the fence. It's either one or the other. You either hot or cold. You either in or out. You either heaven bound or hell bound. I mean, it's just that straightforward. And we have been sugarcoating stuff for far too long because we don't want to offend anyone. We don't want to hurt anyone's feeling. Well, I'd rather hurt your feeling and you wind up in heaven than for me to just ignore your feeling and you wind up in hell. Because if I love you, I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'm here to tell you the truth. You got to get right. It's time to stop all of this foolishness. It's time to stop living how you want to live and do what you want to do and say what you want to say and go where you want to go. Your life is not your own. You got to give an account to how you live. You got to give an account. There's consequences for our actions. You know how some people say, I'm grown, I do what I want to do? You better rephrase that. You grown, but you can't do what you want to do. Because you're going to always be a child. And you're always going to be his child. I don't care how old you get. You're always going to be his child. So there should be a sense of urgency for us to go out and compel people to come into true safety. Come into true safety. Because the devil has blinded so many people. And people think that they have, people don't have as much time as they think they have. I'm going to put it that way. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to get it right. It's time to repent. It's time to forgive. It's time to let go. It's time to come together. It's time to do what God has called us to do. We done did enough of playing. We done did enough of putting on. We done did enough of faking it. We done did enough of all of that. Time is winding up. We don't have time for that foolishness. It's all about what verdict you want to hear. Job well done or depart from me. And it ain't going to do you no good to tell the Lord what all you done in his name. You done it for your benefit. He ponders the heart. But with that being said, I got to get off here. I pray everyone have an amazing day. Just be safe. Be careful. And just know God can knock at your heart right on the dance floor. God can knock at your heart before you even make it to the party. Why? Because he knows your future. He knows your future, and he knows the enemy is trying to steal your life. He's trying to keep you out of the kingdom. So God is serious about his people, his children. He's serious. So with that being said, speak life. No matter what you're going through, no matter what you're facing, no matter what it looks like. Speak life over your situation. That's the only way things are going to change. It may not change overnight, but prayer changes things. Continue to speak life and continue to trust and know that God is concerned about you. While you are partying, he's concerned about you. So with that being said, I'm going to hop off. Again, everyone have an amazing day on purpose. Until next time, be blessed and Happy New Year's.